everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to bring you guys my first episode of Spooktober. I have had this cooking up there for a little bit and I'm so excited to be bringing it to life for you guys. I never really get to celebrate too much the Halloween season, and this year I decided to go all out and create a bunch of exciting on-theme videos for you guys. So this week we are going to be reading some mystery thrillers. Now I have a lot of options. I was getting really into mystery thrillers for a while and then I kind of fell off for a bit. So these are the 5 that I am going to be picking from. I think at the least I'm gonna read 3 and see what I can get to. So let's just talk about these books and get started. So one of the first options I have is Billy Summers by Stephen King. I think this falls a little bit more in the mystery side of mystery thriller because I believe it is about a killer for hire. It says part war story and part love letter to small town America and the people who live there. This spectacular thriller of luck, fate, and love will grip readers with the electrifying narrative as a complex anti-hero with one last shot at redemption must avenge the crimes of an extraordinarily evil man. So, maybe it is a little thrilling, but I don't think it's like on the thriller side of mystery thriller. I don't know, we'll see. And honestly, I kind of love this cover. Kind of eats. Next, I have Bullet Train by Kotaro Isaka, and I have had this longer than I care to admit. Like, this was when I was getting more into mystery thrillers, and it was on a buy one get one 50 table, and I love this movie. And there's just something about this just physical copy that screamed to me. Oh my god, I just thought it was such an interesting movie. I am interested to see how it plays out in book form. Could be something new for me. Next, I have 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I absolutely loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I have been just taking my time waiting to read this because I know it takes place over a certain couple of hours, like 10 p.m. and I thought it'd be kind of cool to try and read it around the time that it takes place, but I am not sure. If I don't end up reading this in this video, maybe I will make a video of that later on, which could be cool. But the next book I have is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I think I've heard only good things about this. I actually have this on my Kindle, which is really, really nice because I have been getting back into reading on my Kindle more. Again, I feel like a lot of these books are like this way. There is just something that pulled me in about this book, like physically. I will judge a book by its cover. If it's pretty, I'm buying that book and I'm gonna read it. If it's pretty, I'ma have it. This one is about a woman who I think has a podcast and she meets her birthday twin, invites the birthday twin on her podcast, or maybe it's the birthday twin's idea, and her life story is just so unhinged, and the further you get into it, the more unhinged it gets. And then does she disappear? Something crazy happens and everyone's like, who is this woman? So this I'm really interested in reading. I read her other really popular one. I think it was Then She Was Gone. And I did expect a little bit more from it just by the way that people talk about it. I didn't dislike it. It just wasn't, I didn't think it kind of lived up to a lot of the conversations people have about it. And my last book is The Fury by Alex Nikolides. I know I said this, I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. There is something about this that just drew me in. And I love The Silent Patient. And I read it in a vlog and I talked about it in a vlog because I was like, why is everyone saying it's so basic? Like, I didn't see that coming. This one I believe is more along the lines of a murder mystery. It has a narrator, which I think will be really interesting. And it's pretty quick. Also, I have this on my Kindle, so another win. I only have this on Libby for 3 more days, so I might start off with this and just read out my Kindle while I can. Now that you've let me yap, without further ado, let's get started. I know it's kind of crazy for me to update at 2% in, but right off the bat, I'm loving this narrator. Like, I even highlighted an entire page of what he said because the way that he's telling the story is just, well, we haven't even started the story. He's just kind of introduced himself, and I've already highlighted like multiple things because I really just love his voice already, and it gets me really excited. I am definitely intrigued and excited to hear more from him because yeah, this is not at all like how The Silent Patient was. And I didn't read The Maidens, but I heard it didn't have good reviews, so I don't want to get my hopes up, but let's see. And I am 20% of the way through The Fury. So far, I mean, it is kind of moving slow. Right now, we're still kind of meeting our main cast of characters. We have our narrator, his name is Elliot. I still don't really know much about him other than he wrote a play that did really, really well. And used to live with this famous writer before she passed. Lana, who is really kind of our main character. She is a retired actress. She moved to London. She has a 17-year-old son with her ex-husband. Her new husband's name is James, and he off the bat seems a little suspicious. He really doesn't like Kate, who is another one of our characters, an actress friend of Lana, but he seems to be really hate her. If you ask me, I think they're having an affair. I don't know. I know nothing. Kate, she is high and drunk a lot. And then our last, I think, main character is Nikos. So the whole premise is Lana brings her friends to this island that her past husband had purchased for her in Greece, and Nikos is the full-time caretaker of the island, so he lives there 365 days of the year. So it's Easter time and everyone has just gotten to the island. There's foreshadowing, a lot of like, who knew tonight one of us would die, blah, blah, blah. So I think I'm really close to the start of this like story. I think this is all really kind of set up. I think I'm going to read some more tonight. I will keep you guys updated. Okay guys, I thought I'd do a little check-in because I have actually read a lot. I am 54% of the way through The Fury now. It's definitely picking up a bit. I know who's been murdered and I know a lot more information about everybody's secrets. I'm still enjoying the way it's being told, and normally I really hate bouncing between two timelines, but this one is actually pretty cool because, you know, it's not like set up. It's a little like comes out of nowhere and now you're like learning something else. So yeah, I'm definitely having a good time. I'm just gonna keep reading. It's only 10 o'clock, so we are just, yeah, gonna keep going through. Okay guys, I just finished The Fury by Alex Michaelides and I enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting, I think. I really liked it. I think the third act was, or maybe like right before the third act, was a little slow, but I did enjoy what I was reading. I didn't feel like it dragged too much to the point where I wasn't enjoying it. I definitely found a lot of it intriguing, and I did not necessarily call the ending, or at least how it played out. So that was like pretty exciting. I had a few gasps and shocks for sure. I'm really glad that I read this. I just want to sit here and think about it, which I feel like has to make it a 4, because you learn so much and like you feel like you're following a linear story. You're kind of like following a linear story, and then it just kind of keeps going back and back, but it all seems to be following in one line. And then at the end, it starts like going all around and it's like no longer linear. It's like, whoa, when did this happen? Very good start, I would say. I'm reading reviews and someone just said that epilogue gives away a major twist for the silent patient if you're wanting to read that. Is that the name of the main character in that? Holy shit, I need to get my book in check. Who's the main character in this? Theo Faber. Whoa, I love that. The reference? Wait, that's so cool. Wait, that's so good. Wait. Yeah, if you read this before The Silent Patient, that would be crazy. Whoa. I wonder if his name is mentioned in The Silent Patient. If someone is really familiar with The Silent Patient, can you tell me if they talk about Elliot? That's crazy. I would have never picked up on that. I'm so glad I read that review, because that makes me like this so much more. That they're like kind of linked. I love when authors do stuff like that. Here, wait, let's go put this back on my shelf so you can see where. I haven't really showed you guys my shelves, really, but I have some mystery thrillers up here. I don't have space for literally any more, so I think I'm gonna get a third shelf and put it there, but then after that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And you guys have seen this shelf over here. I showed you that. Oh, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I'm gagged. Okay, so I'm reading the description of the maidens, and it mentions Mariana, who is a character in The Fury. So I guess they're all linked, which is super cool, and it actually kind of makes me want to read The Maidens. Even though I heard bad things about it, I wanted to read it ages ago when it came out because I thought it sounded interesting, but it was... I heard bad things about it, but now I kind of want to read it knowing that Mariana, that it's all linked. I think that's so cool. Definitely gonna put this on my want to read. Now I'm going to bed. Good night, see you tomorrow. Everybody. It is day 2 of reading some mystery and thrillers. I'm about to make dinner, or I guess reheat leftovers, but I thought I would update you guys. So I started Bullet Train this morning and I'm about 100 pages in, well, just under 100 pages in. So far, we are really just meeting all the characters. There is a lot of setup going on because there are so many characters. If you've seen the movie, it kind of makes sense to me that, you know, the first like over 100 pages is just kind of like getting us to where we need to be before a lot of the action starts. But also, I don't really see how this is like, I guess maybe if I haven't seen the movie, I'd think of it more as a thriller, but it really just feels kind of like an action movie to me, or like an action adventure almost. Because some of the characters are really intricate and have some sort of, I don't know, dark side or light side. We do get a lot of like not rambling, but yeah, a lot of people saying like prophetic things about being a bad person or stuff like that, doing bad things. And then as you saw, I went to McKay's and I got rid of a bunch of books from my physical TBR that I have either had for years or maybe not as long, but altogether I just kind of came to terms with the fact that I'm probably never gonna read them. They just never crossed my interest anymore. And so they didn't have any of the books I was looking for. I was looking looking for any Shatter Me books, Vampire Academy books that are like the old covers, which the last time I was there they had a bunch and this time they didn't have any, or the Maidens, because I talked about it last night, but they didn't have any, which was crazy. They had Silent Patient, like 2 Silent Patients, 2 The Furies, and no Maidens, but it's fine because I actually found this little Conan Gray vinyl for like 12 bucks. So I got this, and then the rest I got was like still like $24 cash, which is quite a bit. I want to finish editing a video and make a thumbnail for another video. So I'm gonna do all of that tonight. So we shall see. Hopefully I can still get a good chunk of reading done and everything else that I want to get done. So yeah. I'm gonna eat. I'm so hungry. Okay, so I actually got all of the stuff I wanted to get done tonight. I finished editing my book club video that you guys will see in, well, at this time you'll have already seen it, but a week from now-ish is when I'm gonna post it, because I also made the thumbnail for the other video I was talking about and posted it. Go watch both those videos if you haven't already. But yeah, those were the 2 things that I really wanted to get done, because I've been all weekend, it's been on my mind like since Friday night. I've been like thinking like, oh my god, I need to do this, I need to do this. So I'm glad to have finally got that done, and it's 8:30, so I think I'll probably read a little bit, but we most likely will not resume much of Bullet Train until tomorrow. Oh my god, and I forgot to say this. We didn't really talk, I didn't say this about, because I forgot, but so it's from many different characters' point of view, but at the start of their chapter, it highlights what part of the train they're in, and if like they move around in that chapter, what cars in the train that they move to, which is so cool. So talk soon. Day 3 of reading mystery thrillers, and I am 206 pages into Bullet Train. I'm just figuring out what percentage it is, and I just thought I would check in with you guys because I probably won't check in again until I finish this. Just by the way it's going, it is pretty slow and it's not really like much of a thriller. There's a lot of like comedy elements to it, and there are a lot of like dark topics and like people who are in danger, but I wouldn't really like call it a thriller. I feel like the characters at this point are going on way too many tangents. At first, like, it made sense for context, and some of the stories they tell like still do make sense for context, but some of the characters go on like way too many tangents, especially like the prince. Like, he goes on all these like almost philosophical tangents explaining like why you can be a bad guy, why it's not bad to be bad, or whatever, just like all these random things about like the way people think or whatever. And the first couple was like, oh, okay, so like this is like kind of explaining how this kid is like a sociopath. And now at this point it's like, we already know, like, you don't learn anything new the more he talks about this, because it's like, this is his character, like we've understood that at this point. And some of the stories from Kimura make sense because we don't really know his backstory and his relationship with the prince, so like those stories make sense, but some of them are just kind of like, okay, we get it. I'm getting like over it, but like the plot itself is like interesting enough, and when they actually are talking about what's happening on the train, like I am interested and want to read it. But every time someone goes on some random tangent that is another iteration of something they've already told us, I am finding it hard to like read it. So that's why I'm saying I think I'm just going to finish it off camera. I feel like nothing's gonna shock me. I have seen the movie, even though like obviously it's different, like, and like the characters are kind of different. I still feel like nothing can happen that would like really shock me at this point. That is my update on Bullet Train. Hi guys, welcome to day whatever of this week. I finally finished Bullet Train, and I am really disappointed actually. I really had high hopes going into this, and I don't know why. I feel like when books are adapted, I expect a lot from the source material. I expect, you know, maybe it not to be the same, but for the source material to, you know, be interesting enough as a book. But I could see like why this translated really well into an action comedy, because if you cut out all of the repetitive, useless monologuing, it would have been really interesting, but it got so dull at points. I was so bored, and I gave it 3 stars because genuinely I can see why some people would like it or why it would be considered like a good book. Like some of the parts I really liked. I liked some of the characters, but truly the prince's inner monologuing was so repetitive. And same with Nanao, with like the unluckiness, like everything was just so repetitive. It started driving me crazy. I don't know, there was just something about the movie where I felt so much more connected to, like, for example, Tangerine and Lemon. Like I felt so passionate about their characters in the movie. Like I felt sad when bad things happened, but here I literally could not have cared less. I just like, I don't know, whatever. I'm glad I finally read it because I have had this on my physical TBR for quite some time. But let's put this over in the read this month pile. So I think the next and probably last book of this vlog is going to be reading None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. And I changed my Kindle stickers for the time being. I feel like I'm not like happy with it yet. I want to like put something here or whatever, but for the most part, it's supposed to be like sort of spooky-ish. I got these 3 stickers from the Probably Smut Book Club. I got this from a boba shop near me, and then my little Draco Malfoy from Etsy, he stayed. This is like, it says morally gray and it has a little ghost face on it. The vibe of it goes great for my little Halloween, my spooky spread that I made for you guys. But yeah, I think I'm going to start this. That's what we will be reading. So it has actually been quite some time since I last updated you, and I think for now I'm going to put down None of This Is True. I just have not really been in the mood for it, and I haven't really been in the mood for many mysteries, so I've kind of been stalling on updating and reading. But 2 of my friends and I just started our own little book club, and we're all like fast readers, so I want to keep up and start it. It is a mystery though, so it's on theme, but I think it'll be a lot better for me because it's Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney, and I've read Rock Paper Scissors by Alice Feeney, and it was short chapters, really fast paced, and it wasn't a super long book. This one I opened on my Kindle and it said typical time to read was 6 hours, so I feel like it'll take me that pace. It was like 300 something pages. It'll take me like 3.5 to 4 hours to read, so not a lot of reading time, but as well, like knowing that her other book that I read had really short chapters, I feel like that is probably something that might be consistent in her other work. So I want to read it. My friend Suze, she read it in like 2 days, so I really want to catch up and read it. I'm probably gonna put an Emmy Rossum reading vlog on my either laptop or TV. I have been loving her videos. She reads a lot of fantasy and romantasy mainly. It's just been like so refreshing to watch her content. She is like very aesthetic and she gives a lot of great recommendations, and she really puts me in the fantasy mood. So I highly recommend you check out her videos if you haven't. I have been like binging them a lot and putting them on when I read. We're gonna get reading. Hello. So I am on chapter 9 of Daisy Darker, which is 17% in, and I'm like having a hard time keeping my eyes open. So I'm going to go to bed, but unfortunately the chapters are not short. Oh, I was like halfway through chapter 2 when I was like, okay, maybe this was not the right decision. But I've gotten to chapter 9. The person who, it's like a murder mystery. The person who is murdered has died. So I'm assuming it'll start to pick up. Next to none of these characters seem very likable. So like I like her main character, Daisy, but like she seems pretty chill, and I like Nana, but literally everybody else seems like actually awful. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to bed. I'm so tired. Hello guys, I am currently 62% into Daisy Darker, and I feel like I'm just not vibing with it. I feel like recently I've decided that I really don't like dual timeline books. It's just like, or maybe I just haven't read a good one in a while, because I feel like every time I'm like enjoying one timeline it switches to the other, and I just hate that, and I feel like it just makes this book move so much slower. I think maybe that's why I really like Riley Sager's thrillers, because they're just all told at once, which I prefer. Actually, that's a lie. I did really like The Silent Patient, and I think that's told in 2 timelines. So maybe I'm lying. I just think maybe it's really hard to do well. I really just want to finish this today. I don't know. My mood has changed since I started this vlog. Let's keep going. Okay guys, I finally finished Daisy Darker, and I gave it 2 stars, and I feel like maybe it suffered a bit because of my mood and I wasn't super interested in reading it, but I thought the like first 2/3 to 3/4 was really slow. None of the characters are likable, which I think is something that I have a hard time with when reading thrillers. The ending was crazy. There is one part of it that I did kind of consistently guess. I want to see what chapter it was. I guessed really early on. I was like, I think so and so is blank, which I was right. So that was kind of a slay, but it also, I feel like realizing it early on was kind of got me emo, because I was like, that would have been a crazy plot twist if I like hadn't, I mean, I don't know, I think it was like kind of obvious. Chapter 17 out of 50, I was like, wait, and I was right, which is crazy, but I thought it was overall fine. I'm glad I finished it, and I can finally finish out this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It wasn't a very consistent, and I guess I only had one read that I really liked, because Bullet Train wasn't really my jam either. So I think maybe Bullet Train really put me out of wanting to read like mystery thrillers, even though, because it was so not a mystery thriller that I was like, I need something crazy, like, or I need something fun, like a fantasy or romance to spice things up for myself. So now that I've read 3 mystery thrillers, there really were just mysteries, actually. I don't know why I keep saying mystery thrillers, because I think that's like a good general term for them, but this was like a mystery. The Fury was a mystery, and then Bullet Train was like a dark comedy. But I think that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's that, and I'll see y'all very soon, which is very exciting. I love you all. Bye.